It's finally spooky season, which means I think it might just be time to take a look at one of my favorite spooky shonen comedy animes. Little Hero Academia is an anime all about a boy named Deco, who lives in a world where about 80% of the population are born with magical or even superhuman abilities. He ends up going to a very prestigious high school where he soon learns he's going to be taught by his childhood idol to better use these special powers, all while competing to become better than his blonde-haired rival who's already an expert. But there's just one problem. Deco doesn't have any powers. No. Wait. Okay, so in case you hadn't noticed, the show My Hero Academia is just a little bit similar to this one other show, Little Witch Academia. And by that I mean these shows are stupidly similar, but I digress. So to start off this case study of the twin shows, I want to show you how the main characters are basically the same person. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. So Akko and Midoriya are literally the same person. And you know what? I'm 90% sure that's just because they're two of the most basic anime characters that exist at the current time, but again, I digress. Let's just start with their goal and what motivates them toward it. Now this is actually where I think the characters are the most similar, because they both follow the complex motivation and goal of I want to be really good. Of course, this idea gets a little more complicated in at least one of these shows, but you cannot deny the fact that Deku says, I want to become number one just like All Might, and Akko says, I want to be just like Shiny Chariot. The only difference between these two is that All Might is a likable character. Even the main conflict for both the characters is the same, that conflict being that neither of them have the powers that their show centers on. I will give both the shows credit, however, for taking these issues in two different directions, but the issue still does remain that this main conflict in not having powers drives both characters towards their goal throughout the duration of their show. And that's not even where the similarities end between the two. I'm gonna show you two scenes right now, and I want you to tell me they aren't the exact same thing. Yeah, okay, great, these shows do some things the same. Wow, that's amazing. But why don't we talk for just a moment about some of the things that they do the same, differently. Now, of course, each show has their big differences. Like, My Hero Academia has the League of Villains, while Little Witch Academia over here has the dragon that repos a magic rock. But more specifically, I want to talk about the difference between All Might and Shiny Chariot. So let's just start with All Might. In the very first episode of My Hero Academia, All Might is introduced, and the world's best kept secret gets out that All Might is actually All Sprite, and that he wants to train Midoriya. In my opinion, this introduction is short, sweet, and plus ultra. Now let's juxtapose this with the introduction of this hot mess, Shiny Chariot. Shiny Chariot, just like All Might, is both introduced and revealed in the very first episode of the show. The only difference between the two introductions of these characters is that the main character Akko is not shown who Shiny Chariot really is. And sometimes it feels like we really weren't either, because every once in a while the show decides to give us a little tease like, ooh, remember this? She's actually not a teacher, but really Chariot in disguise. This doesn't sound like a big issue, but it actually puts a major hold on the storytelling of the show. Let me explain. When All Might is revealed in the first episode, automatically all his limitations on what he can do for Deku are removed. He can choose to help Midoriya out as directly or indirectly as he wants. This allows him to train and help Deku to the best of his ability. Now when you look over at Chariot, she's actually the exact opposite of this. Because she's in disguise the whole time, and because she chooses not to reveal herself, she can't actually help Akko at all. This just leads to like a season and a half of mostly filler shit, which I will say is enjoyable, but to put it simply, All Might is useful. Chariot is useless, mildly annoying, and doesn't really do anything. lastly, I want to talk about the similarities between the characters Bakugo and Diana. Now, these characters don't really have any motivational similarities or similarities regarding their goals, but still they aren't exempt from the similarity rule. Basically, as a rival, they're the exact same person. Both of them serve as a pillar that the main character has to pass. Since the main character is new to their abilities, they need somebody who is already an expert to create an internal conflict, and in both cases, it just so happened that that rival was a blonde, spiky-haired, angry, high-profile snob. Okay, now I feel like I could talk about the similarities between these two shows for another few minutes, but honestly, I like these two shows, and I don't want to completely ruin them both for me, so you know what, we're just gonna leave it at that. Both these shows really are fantastic. If you haven't seen either of them, I really do recommend that you go watch them, though, as you can tell from this video, they really do kind of feel like they were written by the same person. However, they are just different enough to make their own identity. My Hero Academia is a lot more long-term plot-oriented, while Little Witch Academia is a lot more episode-to-episode. So yeah, these shows are the same. But because I don't know how to end this video, let's say they're also not the same. Hey, welcome to the end of the video. Oh, okay. Hey there. Welcome to the end of the video here. I just wanted to take a minute here at the end to thank you for making it through this whole ass, hot ass mess of a video, and just to let you know that I think you should subscribe because this kind of quality content, which could be improved if you let me know what I could improve down in the comments below, is something I make every week here, you know, or at least it's something I try to do every week. I know uploads have been a little scattered out recently, you know, it's been one video every 2 to 3 weeks, but believe me when I say, the ultimate goal is to get one video out every week, so I'm really gunning for that this week. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.